Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Cam.
Cam? Kincaid, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. New muffler, Hinson clutch, top ends over here.
You already put that basket in, you just said
I just
verify plates and everything are set up, right?
Just make sure she's all good.
Cool, and then you didn't open the top end at all, but you've got a piston?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. Got the air filter cage and all that?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. Oh, there's no caliper at all?
She ran phenomenal for the few times I rode her, and then work got overrun.
Had you pulled the pipe off of this? It has no springs on it.
Oh, yeah.
All good if you're not sure. I'm just kind of inspecting here. I just tried to pull the front brake. Oh, it's got an electron on it.
Do you do much riding?
I do, yeah.
Right now that you ride?
I've got a KTM 350.
Oh, no shit.
I like a project though, so I saw this and I was like, well.
And then that's the piston, new piston.
Cool. I may. I'm not gonna try and start it or anything. I might just cycle it through just to see what the motor feels like real quick, and I'll plan on taking her off your hands. Yeah, something's sticking there a little bit, huh?
Yeah, she's been sitting.
Alrighty. Well, I think I'll go ahead and take it off your hands. Cool. Here's there's 12.
Sweet.
Is that everything?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Sweet. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And that was nearly 4 months ago. And since then, this 2002 Yamaha YZ250 has been sitting in my shed, patiently awaiting this day. I bought this bike for $1,200, and while its looks right now might say otherwise, I actually think this is a pretty nice bike. We're just dealing with the classic scenario of questionable wrenching that has managed to mess a few things up on this bike that we're gonna fix and hopefully have this thing up and running in not too long. Not to mention, he threw in a box of bonus parts, including a brand new piston, so we can get a fresh top end in this thing and make sure she is dialed and ready to go. Now, cycling the bike through when I bought it was the closest thing I've got to starting this motorcycle. When you cycle it through, something sounds really funny, and according to the seller, this thing was running just fine. He attempted to put a clutch in it and has not started it since. So I'm not sure where he went wrong in this whole process, or if he did try to start it and something catastrophic happens. We will find out when we tear this motor open. So welcome to another project, and let's jump into this YZ250. So if you want to follow along with this whole journey, be sure to subscribe. Step 1, we need to get this thing cleaned up. So, pro tip, don't leave your bikes caked in mud for 4+ months. This thing was pretty gnarly to try and get cleaned up. A lot of that dirt started to seep in and discolor the metal from sitting for so long. I scrubbed at it like crazy. She's looking all right. The plan at this moment is not to do a full frame up build on this, but get it running, make it reliable, make it solid, and make it look good. Levi is coming to town this week for his graduation from nursing school. Congratulations, Levi. And he wants to ride Friday morning. I have an ambitious goal of trying to get this thing ready to hit the trails by Friday. Let's see if we can do it. Well, then you better quit your damn chit-chatting and start working on that damn motorcycle. He's right. Let's get to it.
What the heck did my man do to this poor YZ?
It's alright, baby. We'll get you taken care of.
That's what you look for when you buy a used bike.
Rags in the airbox.
Airbox bolts? Who needs them? Extra weight.
Would we like to take any wagers on how much oil this bike has in it? Over under 0.5 liters. Winner gets a cookie. Oh, that was finger tight.
Show me the money. Oh, that is a weak stream right there. Oh, we might be approaching 100 milliliters right there. That's probably not good.
That is literally how much oil came out of this thing.
Does she have coolant though? Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Blue is the best flavor.
Oh. Oh, you guys don't want to look in there. All right, come on.
Gotcha. I am pretty damn sure that this brand new silencer is not meant to be mounted on the inside here, because that looks like we'd be getting some good tire rub. I think this thing needs to be moved out here.
Yeah, so this is how that thing's supposed to be mounted.
That looks much better. Also, while I tear into this thing, I just want to say, I'm just trying to have a good time tearing this thing open, make it entertaining. In no way, shape, or form am I trying to make fun of the previous owner. I understand that everyone starts somewhere with wrenching. I didn't know all this when I first started, and I've done tons of questionable things on bikes over the years. So that's all part of the learning process. But as I find things on this bike that were done incorrectly or could have been done better, I'm going to point them out because that's how we learn. So no hate whatsoever to the previous owner. I'm just stoked to be working on this project. So from here, I was going to pull the whole inner clutch cover, but I might just pull the outer first and see if it's obvious what's going on with this clutch. Got it. I already know what we're missing. We're missing this right here that I just pulled out of the box of parts that he gave me. You see, I can see the clutch push rod, but there's nothing for it to push on. So we'll go ahead and resolve that and then move on to the next step. Now, I've got some other pieces in the miscellaneous parts bin that are also part of the OEM clutch. I'm not sure if the Hinson came with replacements, but for peace of mind, I'm going to pull this whole clutch out to make sure it was set up properly. And would you look at that? I went to get a tool to break this with an impact. It was literally not tightened at all. Woo-hoo-hoo. It would have been pretty catastrophic had I actually tried to start this thing, if it would have started. And he's for sure missing that collar. Oh my god, that is gnarly. So just so you can see here, he's just got this bearing raw dogging in here. And this collar I showed is supposed to go there, and then the bearing installs. That's a big deal, but the fact that the bike hasn't been ran is good. Every other component in here that I can see looks just fine. No damage to this motor whatsoever, at least visibly. So my guess is the nasty sound I heard when I tried to cycle this through was the basket being able to have some play. Since this collar wasn't there, when you spun this, that basket had some free play, so it was pretty much just pushing itself between the gears, which makes total sense that it wasn't easy to kick over. The idler gear and kicker feel great, so it might be as simple as installing this clutch correctly. And this is where you gotta double check everything that someone else has touched. These bolts aren't even remotely close to tight, so this would have likely been a point of failure. I'm gonna go ahead and check the torque values on these and get them torqued. And on second thought, I'm willing to bet these do not have any thread locker on them, so we're gonna pull them out and reinstall. Yep, dry as can be. I'll be using some red stuck nuts on these bolts, and that is because Stuck Nuts is committed to keeping our trails alive. A portion of all their sales go into different trail alliances and things like that to keep off-roading available to us dirt bikers. Final step here is to peen the edges so these cannot come loose. And now I'm going to cruise over to the Yamaha dealer to see if they have one of these so that I can actually reinstall this clutch today. Took a quick cruise to the YZ dealer on the old Monster, and what do you know? They had it in stock. Let's go. Along with a couple pipe springs. But I have unfortunately ran out of time for the day.
So that was last week, and clearly I did not finish the bike. I actually took a closer look at the front brake and realized I was going to need to order some parts from Rocky Mountain, so riding the bike 2 days later was out the window. That said, I had an awesome time riding with Levi and celebrating his graduation, and then I raced the Yellowstone XC in Billings, Montana last weekend. Oh, and by the way, for everyone who has followed along with the story of Levi's old RM125, you'll be stoked to know that Levi actually bought that bike back from me. He actually just kind of took it, but I'm hoping he'll pay me for it eventually. Now all of my new parts have arrived from Rocky Mountain along with this sweet new sun hat. As a quick reminder, I have a link to Rocky Mountain down in the description below, and if you use my link to buy any items on the Rocky Mountain website, I earn a commission on your purchases, so that is a great way to support the channel. Today's goal, install the clutch properly, install this brand new Wiseco piston, get the brakes working, and see if we can get her started.
So, as any good project goes, I have got a giant mess behind me, but I believe this YZ250 is in ready to start condition. We've got a new top end, the clutch is installed, fresh oil, fresh coolant. I think she should fire. Fuel on, choke on. We're gonna go ahead and just cycle this thing a few times with that brand new piston. Put your wagers in the comments how many real kicks. Here we go. Damn, she sounds crispy. Oh, it smells so good. Let's pop the garage because it's getting smoky. All right, this is choke off on that electron. I can't honestly say I've ever quite seen that on a two-stroke. Increased throttle opening just makes it bog more and more and more, but it idles just fine. Obviously, we've got a little tuning to do, but she runs. That's sick. So there is still quite a bit of work to do on this 2002 Yamaha YZ250 before it is back to track ready condition, but I am excited about the progress in this video. Got the thing running, diagnosed and resolved those clutch issues, got the new top end installed, and got this thing fired up. It idles strong. The bog issue on the throttle is super interesting, not something I've ever seen before. I've seen it where at different throttle openings the bike will bog, but never where it's consistent from bottom to top. I cannot get the bike to rev up, which is super interesting, so we'll have to figure that out. We'll see if it's related to that electron carb or something else. But if you've enjoyed this video and want to see continued progress on this dirt bike, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with this thing yet when it's done. That said, I just rode this thing up and down the block, if you can even call it that, and it was pretty comical based on how it's running. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what this thing is running like, and then we will get it all sorted out in a future YouTube video. So thank you guys for watching and enjoy this little rip down the street. Fire up. First gear. And now I can let off the throttle and it'll just keep pulling with the no clutch because it's got enough drag there. Just wide open throttle. And then it dies. This thing rips, bro. I'm stoked to actually rip this thing at some point in time in the next few weeks, hopefully. Yeah. Very odd. Oop, almost hit Monty's van. And that's it. Goodbye.